Wave that.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
A little bit.
I'm not gonna sing, and I don't think anybody in the room is gonna sing, but happy birthday, Councilman.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
Thank you.
Welcome to this Oak Hill City Council meeting, June 8th, 2026, and we'll begin with our invocation by Bishop Sam Calloway of Spirit and Truth Ministries, followed by our Pledge of Allegiance.
Let's bow our heads in prayer. Almighty God, we're so glad that we could come to this council meeting, Lord, and acknowledge you. To say your name, Jesus, in this session, Lord, it's an honor. That we know that we recognize you in our city, in our homes, and all in every area of our community. We pray, oh God, that tonight, every decision that's made, may we stop and think what would the Lord have us to do. Then, Lord, we'll make the right choice by consulting you first. Pray, oh God, you continue to bless our homes, bless this community, Lord. We want to exalt you as the King of Kings and Lord of Lords in Oak Hill, West Virginia. It's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Bishop Calloway. Now call to order this city council meeting at June 8th, 2026. Our clerk will read the roll.
Mayor Charles Briscoe,
Here.
William Hannibas,
Here.
Chris Gill,
Here.
BJ Elder,
Here.
Tim Buskus,
Here.
Terry Van Busker,
Here.
Roger Evans,
Here.
Diana Janey.
Here.
Thank you. You've all read your minutes and your packet. May we have a motion to accept and approve the minutes from last meeting?
Mayor, I'll move to accept the minutes from the previous meeting.
I second it.
We have a motion and a second to approve the minutes from our last meeting. All those in favor? All opposed? Motion is carried. And we have the same for the treasurer's report, please.
I'll make a motion that we accept the treasurer's report as written.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second to accept the treasurer's report as written. All those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you very much. Any correspondence? All right, thank you. We'll begin tonight with our citizens' comments. Welcome back, Ms. Hodges.
Good evening, everyone. So, Mayor, Council, City Manager, I am Krista Hodges, the event organizer for the Rail Trail Expo. All of you know that, but some on YouTube may not know that. I wanted to come this evening and thank you all for your support from the street department, Josh from the parks, the police department. I couldn't do this without all of your support, so we greatly appreciate it. We had over 150 vendors here from 6 states. We got lots of comments, positive comments, sorry, on the skate park, our city park, the parking. Everybody thought it was beautiful. Everybody had a great day, so I just wanted to thank you all for your support. Thank you.
Thank
Thank you, Chris.
Yes, thank you, Krista, for all the work you put in for that event.
Thank you.
All right, we have a little family reunion going. Mr. Smallwood, you know, let's cook some hot dogs.
Good evening, council, mayor.
Hi.
I'm here tonight to express my deep concern regarding the recent decision to deny the city's traditional donation to our public library. All neighboring municipalities continue to fund their libraries. Oak Hill should not stand alone in withdrawing support. The library is a critical piece of Oak Hill's infrastructure. It provides essential services to citizens who lack internet access or computers at their home. The library provides critical reference materials and literary programs. Furthermore, the library serves our local school system directly through the Bookmobile program. This is a vital countywide endeavor that ensures all children have access to books. In fact, the city proudly promotes the library on this webpage, recognizing its reality. The library delivers an immense return on investment through its literary programs, summer camps, participation in community parades and festivals, and community health partnerships. It maintains the popular White Oak Story Trail, which has been featured in a YouTube documentary and featured on WAY TV. By partnering with organizations like Active Southern West Virginia, the library improves the physical and mental well-being of our citizens. It blends early childhood literacy with outdoor recreation by turning a local walking trail into an interactive reading experience for families. I urge you to restore this funding, institute a predictable nonprofit line item, and uphold your commitment to the city, to the people of this city. Beyond this critical funding matter, I must also bring several other pressing concerns to the council. We still have the drainage problems in Harlem Heights. We have the need the park upgraded to make it ADA compliant. We also need a net for our pickleball court, which was marked off May 2024. We have talked about the new street sign on Harris Street. Also, Mr. Riggins was here from Mendon, and he was talking about the street lights not working in Mendon. The trees falling on power lines and the dumpsters. In fact, he invited the council down to look at it and describe his community as a jungle. He was asking for help. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Smallwood. Moving on to unfinished business. Our city logo trademark update.
Yes, this is kind of an old piece of unfinished business, been hanging out there for a while. I emailed you all, but we received notification finally from the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office on May the 26th that they had finally issued our trademark. And so that is done. We have a registered trademark for our city logo. And it looks like we won't need to do anything else until 2031. I think they said they've got a guidance document that tells what you need to do at the next interval. I think it's between the 5th and 6th year. You have to apply for file a declaration of use indicating that you are still using the document. So aside from that, between now and then, it doesn't look like there's anything that we'll need to do with that office for our trademark. And I was also asked to remind folks that in December 2025, we updated Oak Hill Municipal Code 1.06.020, which outlined the restrictions on the use for the city logo for business purposes only. So that is out there if anybody wants to reference that. But yeah, it's been good news. We've been waiting on this. I think it's been a few years now since the original. I don't know the exact date of the application, but I want to say it was about 2024 sometime, maybe earlier than that. So it's definitely a long process, but it's done. So no action needs to be taken on this item. It's just simply an update to let you all know and the public that did get finished, and there are some restrictions on its use outlined in that municipal code.
I think we missed an item under the citizens' comments.
Got it. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the proclamation. It's not actually until September. It's National Recovery Month. It's September 26th. We just have a proclamation. It's ready. Do we have anybody here from the National Recovery Act? Probably not. It's Oak Hill. It's a day we turn the city purple. But we'll move along with that later as it gets closer.
Well, thank you for bringing up about the logo. That was something that we've been a long time waiting on, and
Yeah.
it finally happened, and now no one can use the logo without consent from City Hall.
That's correct.
Tyler, what kind of penalty would there be if someone were to use it without permission?
I have to look into that. It does outline some of that, I think, in our municipal code, aside from actual, any trademark law that would result from somebody doing that. hopefully we don't have to ever deal with that. but-
Right, absolutely.
Oh, yeah, there is a penalty section listed, in our ordinance, subject to a written cease and desist order, confiscation or removal of materials bearing the unauthorized logo or branding, and a civil fine not to exceed $500 per violation. That's straight out of our ordinance.
Thank you.
Good.
Per violation could be per sign or flyer.
Yeah. For mailer.
Gotcha.
Item number 2 is the Highland Park Avenue traffic issue update.
Okay, so you all may recall, we received a letter last month from the Solid Rock Worship Center, addressing some of the neighborhood concerns of traffic, related to, churchgoers there during certain events. So at the last meeting, you recommended that the safety committee take a look at that. Safety committee did take a look at that. That consists of myself, the police chief and the fire chief. And so we did go out there and take a look at it, had some deep conversation about it. At this time, we're exploring some options. I don't know that it was kind of our consensus that placing additional stop signs along that road may not be the best solution for the issue. And it may in fact end up causing more of a nuisance to the people who do live there, disrupting their traffic pattern, as they have to make a couple more stops to get down to Main Street. So may not be the best option, but we are looking at several, different traffic calming, measures that can be implemented. In fact, I was having a conversation with, Cecil right before the meeting about some of the things that they looked at today. So, I mean, there's options. Every option comes with a positive and a negative. You put in a speed bump, it slows people down, it causes a disruption when you for your snow plowing efforts, and it's of course at a cost to put that speed bump down, and it doesn't stay forever when you have snow plows to go through there. So there's there's rumble strips, there's inverted rumble strips, there's several different options. And so right now we want to thoroughly review all the options and the pro and cons with each, and really kind of get a thorough assessment of what options we do have available to us, what we could implement, and then hopefully bring something back maybe next month at the council meeting after we've had a chance to really dig into some of these and see what our options are, and we can present those to you all with some of the pros and cons of each. I mean, if anybody has any suggestions from council, obviously we would take those, or just reach out to me after the fact if you had any comments or suggestions or thoughts on the matter. I'm happy to accept any of those and roll them into the overall consideration that we're looking at right now. But otherwise, again, no action on that at this point in time. We would ask just for a little bit more time to continue that review, and come up with the best plan.
Sir, thank you. Thank you.
Moving on to new business. First item is the AccuFund software contract cancellation. This is an anticipated executive session. If you'd like to move forward with that, we need a motion to go into executive session, please.
Mayor, I'll make that motion to go into executive session.
We have a second.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to move into the executive session. All those in favor? All opposed? Thank you. We're now in executive session. Motion's carried.
moving last day.
All right, folks, may we have a motion to come out of executive session,
I'll
please?
make a motion that we come out of executive session.
I second that.
We have a motion and a second to come out of executive session. All those in favor? All those opposed? Motion's carried. We are now back in our regular session, city council.
Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I would like to motion to pay Mountaineer Computer Systems Incorporated $7,535.24 for services provided in the failed attempt to change over the financial and billing services contingent. This motion is contingent on the sanitary board approval based upon the previously agreed upon split of 60-40% between the sanitary board and the city.
May we have a second?
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second to change the to accept the AccuFund software contract cancellation. All those in favor? All opposed? Motion is carried. Thank you. All right, item number 4, our planning and zoning recommendations.
Okay, this comes to us from the planning commission. This is a recommendation for a zoning classification change for parcel Oak Hill District Map 10 Parcel 1. This is the Country Club Village subdivision. The new owners of that requested to change the zoning classification from R1 to R3 to allow greater flexibility for affordable housing such as townhomes and patio homes within the subdivision, in addition to single family homes. And that recommendation was approved unanimously by the planning commission. There were several members of the development that have houses out there. I think maybe all of them, but if not all of them, several. And they were all in support of and that had no opposition to any of the zoning classification change for the remainder of the subdivision. This zoning classification change does not pertain to the already sold lots where people have houses. Those would remain as an R1. This is the remainder of the subdivision, basically the unsold lots. And so that is the recommendation from the planning commission. And we have an ordinance prepared for that to do a first reading if you so choose, to change that zoning classification from R1 to R3, to allow for the flexibility of different homes within the subdivision.
Mayor, I make a recommendation that we approve the zoning reclassification for the parcel 09-10-1 Country Club Village subdivision.
I second that motion.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor? All those opposed? That motion is clear. Thank you. Item number 5, New Gorge Town's letter of support. Mr. Love, would you have anything to say to us?
Allison's here too, for what it's worth. You got us both in the room tonight, but good evening, everybody. Oh, to the thing. Sorry, I forgot about the online community.
That's right.
I didn't mean to leave anybody out. Good evening, gang. We are continuing to seek funding to prop up the organization. This will probably not be the last time you see me. It's not the first, and probably won't be the last asking for more letters of support as we continue to explore every funding option we can find.
Were you okay with the draft?
Yeah, that was great.
I know you had provided the initial, but there was some content that you had requested.
It was perfect. Thank you.
So I have a draft version of that ready for the mayor's signature, should you all approve that letter of support.
Great. Mayor, I'll make that motion for the NRG Towns letter of support.
I second that motion.
All right, we have a motion and a second to approve the NRG Town's letter of support. All those in favor? All those opposed? That motion is carried. Thank you, Mr. Love.
As gals, we thank you.
As I talked to you earlier, you are the second Robert Love today. All right, item number 6, our ordinance for the sale of a fire engine.
Okay, so you all approved the liquidation of this fire engine. This is the one that's being replaced from the fire department. You all approved this at the April 13th council meeting. However, in discussions with Mr. Fowle, it's came to my attention that we are required by the West Virginia State Code to liquidate property or to sell property and to acquire property by ordinance. And so it's simply a formality. It will require 2 readings, but I have prepared an ordinance that essentially outlines the sale of that fire engine. I have that up on the screen. I also put a copy of that in SharePoint if you all got a chance to review that. But essentially, it's just authorizing us to sell the fire engine in writing by ordinance. And so we will, it'll require two readings. We'll do 1 reading today, and if you all approve that, I will put it on the special meeting next Monday, the 15th. I'll put it on there too. Theoretically, that would be a quick read and passage of the 2nd reading for that. So the action here this evening would be to authorize the enactment of this ordinance pertaining to the sale of the fire engine as a first reading tonight.
I move that this is the first reading of an ordinance authorizing the sale of certain municipal personal property, in this case, a fire engine.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor? All those opposed? Motion is carried. Item number 7, 2026 street paving list and approval for bid.
Okay, so we've been trying to get this out in over the last couple of weeks. Part of it is figuring out what the estimated paving cost is. As we all know, the price of fuel, petroleum products is high at the moment. That severely impacts the cost of asphalt, as it is a petroleum product. So from May to June, I was informed the cost of that of a ton of asphalt went up $7 just between May and June, and we don't know where it's going to go from there. So it could go up, it could go down. We really don't know. That being said, in addition to that, our paving budget is a little bit less this year than what it has been in the past. At $250,000 is what was allocated in the budget for this next year's paving, which is not ideal. We've talked about this in council here before. You know, as if you keep cutting that back when it should be at 300 or 350,000, and probably based on today's pricing, it should be at 400,000 to keep up with your road maintenance. It's not ideal, but that's what we've got to work with this year. Hopefully we can look at it in the next year coming and be able to have Brenda up that budget. But that's what we've got to work with. So that being the case, I do have the list here of the streets, which I'll read for proposed paving, and I've also got them shown on the map. Now these are all partial streets. So I'll just kind of zoom into here. We've got the area of Duncan Avenue here coming off of Virginia Street down to the first curve. That one is estimated to cost, based on the price per square yard, estimated cost per square yard. That one's estimated to cost about $55,150. We've got Rogers Street off of Central Avenue down to a point close to Summerlee, but not all the way down there. There's actually the very last stretch of that is a bit complicated and is going to require some additional milling in order to get the drainage to function properly in that area. So we backed it off because every time you have to mill additional, it doubles the cost, pretty close to doubles the cost of your paving per square yard for that area. So this area of Rogers Street is estimated to cost $42,900. We've got Central Avenue, the portion shown here, basically all the way out to Joy Street, not quite down to Virginia Street. There's actually some drainage as you approach the top of the hill coming off of Virginia Street that we need to do some work on. So we don't want to pave into that area that we know we're going to have to dig up for drainage and then dig it up here in the next 2 or 3 years. So we're going just beyond the area that we know we need to work on so that we can get the best longevity out of this paving that we're doing. That section of Central Avenue is estimated to cost $112,275. And then the last section is the entrance onto Summerlee Avenue by the police department coming off of Virginia Street. There's been a lot of complaints about that transition from Summerlee onto Virginia Street being rough right there. And you got, I think, a drainage drop box right there. So going up from Virginia Street to Sanger Street, and that section is estimated to cost $30,575. And so that brings it to a total estimated cost of $240,900. And there's one additional street, and I'll show you on here. There's one additional street, which is Roberts Avenue. So here's the table that shows those costs. I've got Roberts Avenue separated out as a deductive alternate because we have a drainage project planned to start here in the next month or so for drainage replacement on Roberts. The drainage runs right down through the middle of the road. And so the road is going to get torn up and it's going to need to be repaved. And we're not going to be able, it's not ideal to patch it and leave it patched for a future year. So that being the case, that is estimated to put us above our $250,000 limit. However, I have verified that our drainage fund can be used for that road to replace the paving because that is the reason we have to replace the paving is for the drainage project. So that rolls into the entire cost of the drainage project, which we will have the funds in that account to do. So we do have the funds in there currently to do that project. So however, if something would change with our plans and some sort of catastrophic event would come up between now and then, I want to maintain the option to be able to remove Roberts Avenue from the paving contract if we can't do the drainage project, because our paving budget will not pay for that unless the cost of paving goes down between now and the time we bid it out. So, but in the event that something changes with our drainage plans, by listing it as a deductive alternate, we will be able to remove that from the bid, from the paving bid that we get from the paving contract. So that's my plan. That would put us at a total of $289,650. Again, these are estimated figures. I usually hit pretty close when I estimate them, based on previous years. This year's going to be a little bit tricky, so we're just going to have to see how the bids come in. The cost of asphalt is pretty volatile right now. It's going up, it's coming down. So we don't know. And essentially I'm being told, look, we can't tell you what it's going to be a month from now because we can't even guess. It could go up and it could go down. So this is a best guess. And those are the streets that I would seek approval to go to bid for and go ahead and put that out to bid and proceed with our paving program as we normally do.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
It's basically to Cecil, out there, near the old Collins High School, Sunnyside Drive.
State
Is
road.
That's a state road.
I just want that to be on record. That is
Yes.
state road.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
that is-
Because all of them out there keep reaching out to me for the city to pave their street. So they need to take that up with the state.
In fact, the majority of the roads in that area, as you go around and see what we got, Ford Edition, and there's a couple other streets.
Jackson's Loop and Venture.
Yeah, I can't think of all those right off the top of my head, but almost all of those are state
They're all
roads.
state.
And
the Spurs.
except for the spurs that come off of that loop out there.
Wilson Street also.
Wilson, that's right. Wilson's one of them. Yes. Yeah.
I just wanted to clarify that because people that are listening tonight, I want them to understand that it's not, the city's not trying to do it. Those are state
Yes, ma'am.
highways or roads. Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
So the action here would be, approval to go to bid on the streets listed here.
I'll make
Make
that
a-
motion.
Go ahead.
I'll make that motion that we go forward with those streets listed.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second to accept the street paving list and approval for bid. All those in favor? All opposed? That motion is carried. Item number 8, fiscal year 25-26 final budget revision.
All right, we'll kick this over to our clerk treasurer, Valerie Vaughn.
Did you all get a chance to look at it on the SharePoint? I will tell you that just as of today, the revenue, the first 4 there changed drastically today. We received a whole lot of mail. You don't ever know what's gonna happen or what you're gonna get. But, that's the revenue. The expenditures that were decreasing and increasing a lot. There's another page of revenues that we are having to change.
Oh, it's the revenues, okay,
Yeah.
yeah, okay. there we go.
That were increasing also. You know,
So that's
any
a,
questions as you look at it?
that's a
and-
total net increase
Right.
on the,
Um,
yeah, so the decrease in revenues, 198.
198.
6,000, 198,600, 198,600. And then that's equalized over on the expenditure side, $198,600 on the expenditure side.
Just kind of, and, you know, I went over this with Demita, just to make sure I was looking at it right. And, you know, we just split some of the revenues on how, cause we have one more pay period in June, and then we have a week and a couple of days that we gotta accrue for also, so, you know, I gotta guess. You know, how much, what you're gonna spend, or how much overtime they have, or.
Yeah, and this is a requirement, state auditor requires this to be in their hands by June the 15th of each year. So that's why.
That's the hard
That's why
part.
you're doing it right now. You have to do
Yeah.
it before the end of the year. And, you know, you're trying to hit a moving target on your figures, and they know that, they understand that. You do the best guess based on what you've got coming in and what you've seen over the last several months. And submit it and it's like I say, it's gotta be sent to them by June the 15th.
We do have some, refunds that's coming in, hopefully that's gonna take care of some of the expenditure part on the part.
Yeah, and some of those, we don't know when they're gonna come in. It may come in next week, or it might not come in till the middle of July, and then it's into the next budget year, so,
June 30th.
yeah. Any questions on that?
May we have a motion to accept the final budget revision?
Mayor, I move to accept the final budget revision as presented.
May we have a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor? All opposed? Motion is carried. Final budget revision has been accepted. Item 9, create safer grant bank account with PCB.
Take this over to our clerk treasurer as well.
This is for the safer grant that the fire department got, the 800 and some $1,000. We need an account for it to flow through. We just need approval to create it so we can, they've already submitted, yes. That we've already submitted the 48,000.
Yeah.
Right now, so we're just waiting to get that, but we need to, create a bank account for it.
Well, I make
Procedural approval.
motion that we, go ahead and create that bank account with PCB Bank.
I second that motion.
We have a motion and a second to create the safer grant bank account with PCB. All in favor? All opposed? Motion is carried. Thank you. Item number 10, authorize financing for the new fire engine.
Take this one over to our clerk treasurer as well, in the spotlight.
Where's you have the,
Yeah, let me pull this.
we checked with, Fayette County National, Truist, and PCB. Those were the rates, and I think that was for one payment a year. Truist, the rates was the cheapest, but you know, you all can decide which bank you want to go through. It's just easier on us in the office if we still keep two banks and not add a third. But
So just as a
It's not-
refresher, here's the cost, $899,724. That's the cost of the new fire. And if you'll recall, we have discussed this before. There is an agreement we have in place with the Fayette County Commission in regards to the distribution of funds from the fire levy. We'll get $200,000 per year over a 4-year period of time, starting this current fiscal year that we're in. And so what we'll do is our plan is to do the draw for this current fiscal year that we're ending. That's $200,000. Also, the draw for the next fiscal year, coming up next year at the same time, that'll be $400,000 straight off the top. That check will go straight to Matheny Motors. Yeah. So that'll go straight to Matheny to pay on the truck initially. And then there's been about another $100,000 will come out of our state fire insurance fund to bring the total balance to approximately $400,000 that we would be financed. And they have agreed, Truist has agreed to allow us, based on that drawdown schedule, to make one payment annually on the loan, which essentially would be for the next 2 years after that.
Right.
And then, of course, we'll have the financing charges that we're gonna have to pay to anybody to borrow that money.
And I think Brooke talked to Fayette County National, but PCB did, I'm pretty sure said they would do the. Just a little bit of difference in the rate.
We also did talk to the new bank coming into town, Pioneer Community Bank, to see if they could offer some competitive rates. We didn't get a definitive quote from them, other than that they didn't feel like they could be competitive with the rates we already got. So we did reach out to them.
So we haven't received any money from the county commission so far, correct?
For this fire engine, no. Tim, anything to add on that? Was that all accurate?
Covered it all, yes.
Okay.
We're just to answer Tim's question. It's just a matter of us sending a letter of request to the county commission. And we do it strategically after July 1. As Tyler stated, we'll get 2 draws.
And so the action here tonight would be, let me pull this back up, to authorize financing with one of the 3 institutions listed here on the screen. So I can make a little bit action.
I would move to authorize financing with Truist. For $400,000, 4 years on payment a year, 5.21% fixed for all 4 years.
I second that motion.
All right, we have a motion and a second to authorize financing for the new fire engine from Truist. All those in favor? All opposed? That motion is carried. Thank you. Item number 11 is to authorize creation of new general bank account and closure of existing general bank account.
Also to our clerk treasurer, do you want to talk about this?
Elaborate on that one?
Yeah.
We have had someone, in the state copy our check and, use it to try to pass at the bank in, Warfield, I guess, Warfield, Virginia. And the bank caught it, the tellers at the bank caught it. They noticed that it looked a little different. So kudos to them for sure. The individual that was there got nervous and then finally left. They were trying to, cash it to themselves, you know. And then they paid, however they got a copy of the check, they paid their cell phone bill. So just in case there's any more charges, there's just those 2 charges. Well, the $2,400 one didn't go through because the bank caught it, but the cell phone bill one did, 600 and some. But I think we need to change it just in case.
Well, we were recommended or advised by the bank to
Yes.
to
by
change to a new account, to close this account and start a new.
Well, I'll make a motion then that we authorize the creation of a new general bank account, and closure of the existing one.
I'll second.
Excuse me, we have a motion and a second to authorize the new general bank account and to close the existing bank account. All in favor? All opposed? That motion is carried. Thank you. Last item is the proposed charter change for our city manager's residency. This will be the first reading.
So based upon the previous decision of council, indicating we wanted to move forward with, this, city manager residency change, proposed change to the charter. I've prepared this in conjunction working with Mr. Fowle. This is gonna be a change to chapter 10, section 2. And I'll put it up on the screen here. It really only changes one sentence, but we determined that we would just strike through the entire paragraph and list the new paragraph to avoid any confusion. And essentially, it is removing the sentence that says during his tenure of office, he shall reside within the city, and is replacing it with the sentence within 240 days of his appointment and during the remainder of his term of office, he shall live within a 2-mile distance from the boundary of the recognized city limits. And that is in reference to the city manager position. And so this would be the first reading if you so choose to move forward with it. It will then get published in the Fayette Tribune on this Thursday. There will be a public hearing 30 days from that publication, or at least 30 days. And it looks like that public hearing will be on our regular council meeting, July the 13th. We will post the information in the public notice that gets advertised. And then beyond that, we'll have to wait 10 additional days before we can have a second reading. And so if there is opposition, the state code allows for this to, or requires that this would go to a citywide vote, which we have confirmed can be held in conjunction with the general election in November on that ballot. And so the plan would be, if so required, we will put the change to a citywide vote on that general election ballot. If there are no oppositions, we can move forward with the public hearing and with the second reading, at least 10 days thereafter, at which time it will become effective upon the second reading. So that's the plan.
What would be the date of the second reading?
Well, we do need to establish the date of that second reading, which is required to be, so get the calendar up here. So July the 13th would be the public hearing, and it must be, you must allow 10 days. And so that would be 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9. The 10th day would be on the 23rd. And to be safe, we would say the 24th. So that would be July the 24th would be my recommendation for us to have a special council meeting on July the 24th to have the second reading of this ordinance to change the city charter. And so the action this evening, should you choose to move forward with this, would be to accept this as the first reading of the ordinance to change the chapter 10, section 2 of the Oak Hill Municipal Charter, and to establish the July 24th date for the second reading after the public hearing date at our regular meeting on July the 13th.
Maybe we have a motion.
Mayor, I will make that motion on everything Tyler just said.
And I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second on everything.
Mayor,
I just said.
Could I make a comment, please?
Yes.
Before we take a vote?
Sure.
I want to make it clear to the public that our interim city manager, Mr. Bragg, who is doing an excellent job as city manager, happens to reside just beyond, between Oak Hill and Fayetteville. He resides in the county. Mr. Bragg does not want the job full time. This is not an attempt to change the charter to accommodate one person. And it is very difficult to recruit a city manager. It's a extremely difficult job. Like I say, it's very difficult. And it makes it more difficult because of the housing market, for one thing, to recruit a city manager if they're strictly limited to reside in the city limit. There's all kinds of situations that would prohibit a potential city manager from residing in the city of Oak Hill. And the city manager does not establish policy that he can escape by living outside the city limits. The city council establishes all policy of the city. And I can assure you firsthand, there's not an advantage to strictly control the city manager from residing in the city. And I just ask that if someone wants to object, that come to the hearing, be heard. I'm open ears, but I don't believe there's an advantage to having the city manager have to reside right in Oak Hill. Close to Oak Hill, yes. Right in Oak Hill, no. Not necessary. It's not beneficial to anybody. And now, obviously, elected members of the city council, yes, you should and have to reside in the city limits. And the example I always use, and a lot of you know him, Mr. Kirk, retired public works director, lived outside the city of Oak Hill. I met him a lot of times in the wee hours of the morning, on weekends, and whatever, if something, if there was an emergency in Oak Hill. So I ask that you consider those factors. And if you have objections, I want to hear it, but please voice those. I ask you, instead of just objecting out of the blue. And that's really all I have to say, Mayor. And anybody that wants to contact me and talk to me about it, I'm willing to talk about it. I'm willing to hear your concerns if you have them. But so that's all I have. Thank you.
Well said.
Thank you, Bill.
All right.
Yeah. Thank you.
We do have a motion and a second for the proposed charter change city manager's residency. This is the third meeting. All those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? And that motion is carried. Thank you. You have.
I do.
All right. Move along to our department reports, beginning with MS4.
All right, so I've got our MS4 message for the evening. I'll read this off to you here. This is stormwater awareness, pet waste, and water quality. As we continue enjoying time outdoors, we'd like to highlight an important but often overlooked topic, pet waste and its impact on stormwater. In our community, storm drains are part of our municipal separate storm sewer system, or MS4. These drains carry rainwater directly to nearby streams and rivers without treatment. That means anything left on the ground can be washed into our waterways. Pet waste is more than just a nuisance. It can carry harmful bacteria and nutrients that contaminate water, making it unsafe for recreation and harmful to aquatic life. When it rains, pet waste left on sidewalks, in yards, or parks can be transported straight into the storm drains and local streams. Residents can help protect water quality with a few simple habits. Number one, always pick up after your pets, whether at home or in public spaces. Number two, dispose of pet waste in the trash or flush it where permitted. Number three, keep a supply of bags handy when you are walking your dog. These small actions help prevent pollution, reduce health risks, and keep our streams clean and safe for everyone. Remember, only rain should go down the storm drain.
Thank you. Like a public service announcement, 4 o'clock in the morning. May we have a motion to accept the MS4 report? May we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second to accept the MS4. All those in favor? All opposed? The motion is carried. You have read your police department report. Yes,
I'll
sir.
speak just a minute there, Mayor. When Valerie was explaining, us getting a new general account, rightfully so, she was fairly vague about it. I just want, people who are listening, they don't, probably the first time they've heard about it. We've been dealing with it for 2 or 3 weeks now. That has been, investigated by the Moorfield Police Department. The suspect has been identified. No way, shape, nor form any ties back to the city. It's more or less a scenario like your personal checking account had gotten hacked or something. Again, and also that has been also reported to the West Virginia State Police because not only in Moorfield, the cell phone bill being paid got out of Moorfield's jurisdiction, I believe. So the state police and Moorfield Police Department are investigating that. And again, I've spoken with the I've spoken with both agencies about it. There is no way, shape, nor form anything tied back to anybody involved with the city of Wilkes.
Great. Thank you.
Thanks, Chief.
Thank you.
And Valerie, just to follow up on that, the ACH payment made for a cell phone bill, that was recouped by the city, right?
Yes.
Okay, so the city's out of no money.
The $600 and some was, but the bank gave it back to us.
Right, so,
Yes.
so the city's not out any money.
No.
Okay.
Do we have a motion to accept the police department report?
Make a motion that we accept the police department's report.
I second that
Motion
motion.
and a second to accept the police department report. All those in favor? All opposed? That motion is carried. Fire department report you've read in your packet. Chief, do you have anything to say? All right, may we get a motion to accept the fire department report?
I make a motion that we accept the fire department's report.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second to accept the fire department report. All those in favor? All opposed? That motion is carried. Sapio, do you have anything to say?
No, Mayor.
All right, you all read your Parks and Recreation report in your packet. May we have a motion to accept?
I'll make that motion.
Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
All those in favor? All opposed? All right, the Parks and Recreation reports have been accepted and adopted. Any council comments?
Mayor, I've got a comment.
Yes, sir.
I'd like to just briefly address one of Mr. Smallwood's comments. When he first got up here and spoke during citizens' comments, Mr. Smallwood, I believe, if I heard you right, you requested a nonprofit fund or a line item, one of those to be put in. And I'd just like to say that as someone who has served in the city government that you have, and I thank you for your many years of service to the city, you are aware that it is not the city's fiscal responsibility to fund nonprofits with tax dollars. And that poses this question of, do you know how much, because I don't know how much the Oak Hill Library itself receives annually from the levy, but the county-wide levy gets $593,884 a year. But how much that particular one, I don't know. And I didn't know if you knew or not how much they got.
It's a director.
And we are operating as a city on a very tight budget. And unfortunately, we've had to make cuts due to a lot of things. And a lot of that is due to having to pay a monthly payment on the bank building fiasco. That's all I have.
Just to follow up with that, we have another request from a nonprofit organization to the tune of $25,000. And it's tough to sit here sometimes because you feel like you're the bad guy when you're not handing out tax dollars to nonprofit organizations. And a lot of these organizations are fantastic organizations. I volunteer for a nonprofit, and they asked about approaching the city for a donation. And I said, it's not the city's mission. It's not feasible for the city to do that. A minute ago, the city manager was talking about paving, and our paving budget is down out of necessity, due to things like, the BB&T building being purchased, for $600,000 when it was appraised at $452,000. Those kind of decisions snowball, and we are under contract now to sell the building that the city did not need. But those kind of decisions put us in a financial crunch. And I love the library, and I want to see it succeed. But I can't, in good conscience, I can't pass out taxpayers' dollars that the city has like a drunken sailor. And I've witnessed contributions made to nonprofit organizations that then politically support those that have passed out tax dollars to those organizations. That's not proper. And I don't like saying no, but sometimes you have to look at your mission versus the nonprofit's mission, and they're different. And I feel for them. I know money's tight right here. And we have a mission, and we have to be able to afford that mission. And, so I can't make an apology. I regret having to say no to every nonprofit that requests a donation from the city, because our citizens as a whole don't support some citizens don't support some nonprofits, and who do you give money to and who do you not give money to? Where do you draw the line? Because I can name all kinds of fantastic nonprofit organizations, and I can name some bad ones too. So where do you draw the line once you start giving out taxpayers' money, and even worse when you expect political gain from that? So I regrettably, have to, for my one vote, have to say no sometimes. So,
Thank you. Anyone else?
Yes, does the city have any plans to do anything for the 250th anniversary of the meeting?
We were talking about that today. We do not have a city event scheduled. There's not been anything on the books for that. I know that typically, long time, kind of coordination, the city doesn't do a whole lot. Its fireworks are not, let off on the 4th of July. I think, if I understand correctly, that was kind of a long time agreement with Fayetteville to, stagger the 4th of July celebration. So I've not heard of any particular groups scheduling any type of event, and we have not had anything from the city's perspective scheduled. That actually came up today. There was a question asked about that, and the thought was put out about maybe trying to throw something together. However, we've kind of experienced coming last minute into trying to do that, and you run into difficulties getting vendors set up. You can't get food trucks. Again, anything that we would do would be taken away from a neighboring community as far as a food truck or whatever, or they're already established and we can't get them anyway. We recently, when we were trying to get a food truck festival put together kind of on short notice, all those vendors said, look, we're kind of booked out almost a year in advance, and we've already got other obligations. And so you gotta give us a lot more warning ahead of time before you try to do anything. So, we're open to if anybody has any ideas or thoughts, we're open to trying to put something together on short notice, but I don't know what we would see come of that. I don't know how successful it would be.
Mayor?
Yes, sir.
So I want to comment on, it's again awesome that the rail trail event this past weekend it's very awesome to see so many people out in the community on a day. Also, there was the Oak Hill Con that Richard Reese had put on out there at the New River Convention at the same time. There was a mass amount of yard sales everywhere. So it was so awesome to see so much going on in Oak Hill that day. And I know that, other businesses benefited that too, but there was a very distasteful comment made from a city employee that again takes away from, maybe motivation to do things in the future. Because if you're going to receive negative comments from something like that, then what's the motivation to keep doing it? So I just wanted to mention that it's not okay to make distasteful comments when it takes a lot to do these events. And a lot of people worked hard to get these events going. So I just wanted to mention that.
Anyone else? Thank you. Our future agenda items will be the hotel tax fire fee.
Mayor,
Yes.
sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
So I'd like to also, for future agenda items, I was talking with Tyler. The employee handbook policy has not been updated in nearly 20 years. I know Tyler said there's some, there's been some talk and looking at that on getting, maybe looking at that and getting something going. I'd also like to look at an online communication policy. Most workplaces have online communication policies that, you do represent a business and a company. That I think you need to watch what you say when you're saying things online, because it can easily come back to that and represents a whole. So I would like to see an online communication policy for the future, and then we just look at the employee handbook as a whole.
All right, thank you.
And in regards to the hotel, hotel tax fire fee, that is something I've been speaking with Mr. File. He's been working with Carl Harris, the Fayetteville town attorney, as they're crafting things, which you all had told us to kind of watch them and see what they're doing. So we're working in conjunction with them and with a reference to another municipality who has established an ordinance for that. So we're kind of tracking that, and we'll be prepared to submit something in the future once it gets to a point where it's ready to actually kind of gel into a feasible ordinance.
Thank you. Our announcements, there will be a special council meeting on 15th of June at 6, and our next regular council meeting will be July 13th at 6.
I will add to that, we just established another special council meeting, July 24th at 6 p.m. In addition to that, I did just want to make this announcement. If you didn't see it on Facebook or haven't driven down Virginia Street, that the long-awaited Virginia Street sidewalk replacement project is underway as of today. So I think Bill said that was 16 and a half years. You want to do an applause?
Yes, that's right.
I think Mr. Hannibas mentioned that initial grant application for that project was 16 and a half years ago, correct?
Right.
Wow. So here we are. So with that being said, I do have a little bit more information than what we had previously put out in our Facebook post, just to pass along to the public. So as of right now, the project is expected to continue until August the 18th is the current estimated completion date. If you've had any experience with construction projects, be prepared for that to get pushed back. Weather delays and unanticipated things that you encounter during the construction process. But as of right now, it's August the 18th. They do not intend to shut down the road in its entirety at any point in time unless something happens that's unplanned. It's only supposed to be a one-lane closure, and that is supposed to be about 300 to 400 feet of the street at a time as they're moving along. So as far as what you can expect, there is some traffic control. It is going to be one lane, so expect some delays. Plan your travel accordingly, and that's going to be pretty much for the duration of the summer for the most part. So, any questions on that? Okay.
All right, motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion and a second to adjourn. All those in favor?
Uh,
All opposed? Motion carried. Good night.